Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about another headset. This one is going to be the Tech Rebellion XR90. Now you can find these headphones at Burlington Coat Factory. Of course, I didn't go to any website or look up this particular company. I normally just find budget headphones, I'll purchase some, and then I'll hop right into a review. So with that being said, let's put the drop in and hop right into this video. All right, so let's get this video started. First things first, I said it earlier in the video, in the introduction. Well, I believe I did. These headphones are normally about $27, $30, but I did get them for $19.99 at Burlington Coat Factory. You can go online, look up Tech Rebellion, and I'm sure they have other products, but we're just talking about this one today. Now, of course, I already unboxed this product. I already used it, so my review is pretty much, for the most part, done in every other aspect. But I just wanted to do the unboxing part because I totally forgot about it. I don't know how I did that, but here we are. So what's going to come inside this, obviously is going to be better packed. But what's going to come inside this box, which I do like the presentation, when companies tend to do this, it just kind of goes to show they actually care about what they're making. So long story short, and I did want to re-record this part because later on in this, you're going to hear me say that this had a 16-hour battery life, which is 10 in the case, 6 in the headset. And but in reality, it's 12 in the case, 6 in the headset. So that's why it makes it 18. I made a mistake. So later on, again, you're going to hear it. It's going to say 6 hours and 10 in the case, but I already rectified that right here. So anyway, what comes inside of this is the case itself, which what I will say is I was very, very surprised about how nice this case actually looked. It has a little groove at the bottom, reminds me of like a bottom of a tooth where it sits this way. It is USB-C. So believe it or not, thank God some headphones are actually getting with the times. It's not USB-C through 0.0 or anything like that, but USB-C is good enough so that way you don't have to carry multiple chargers around, which is what no one wants to do. It's better to always have one type of charger for everything for the most part. We're also going to see here are the earbuds itself. So we're going to have to lift this out. Now, again, there is some things underneath this I'm going to show you. I already unraveled it, so I'm just giving you the quick version of what comes inside of this and how the headphones actually feel, which we're going to get to that in a second. This is the earbud itself. Oops, that part popped out. There we go. So these are the earbuds itself. These aren't buttons, believe it or not. These are actually touch. Now, it does have touch controls, which you can read the manual and see for yourself. I'm more so doing this fast review just to show you the sound and pretty much what I thought about the product as a whole. Now, what else comes with it? If you lift this up, obviously this will be actually wrapped better with this little tie, but this is a pretty long cord. It's USB-A to USB-C. This is like the standard cord that normally comes in some cell phone boxes, which I was really surprised that it was actually that big, and they actually made it that way. You do have your rubber tips, your large and your small. The mediums are already on the headset itself. So with that being said, as soon as you pop them inside the case, get it right here. You will see the battery meter right here, letting you know between probably like 25%, 0 to 25, with like 50 to 75. I forget how they do it, and then 75 to 100 or something like that. So you do have your battery meter to let you know it's here. And if the headset is fully charged, it'll stop blinking. Of course, one thing we have to talk about is the placement of the headset. Sometimes you do have to like wiggle this right here to make sure that it touches the contacts. If you notice, it just went off. Now that the contacts are even, the light comes on. So they are cheap in that aspect. But surprisingly, the case feels good. You will get a lot of smudges. It's like a smooth material. There's no cases for it. But again, when you're buying a $20 headset, I don't expect to find a case necessarily. It does have mono modes. You can use the left by itself. You can use the right by itself. I probably said this in the next part of the review, but that's okay. It's okay for me to say it twice because sometimes we miss something in the beginning. But if we're just talking about the texture of the headset itself, let me get back on topic. It feels really good. I was actually very surprised. When I initially put this in my ear, which I say this in the next section also, I wore them wrong, where it felt like the headset was kind of far away and it had low volume. But if you wear them properly, this is actually a well-built headset. And I was super surprised for the price. Like, I never heard of Tech Rebellion, a company, And if they make more products, I would love to see them. I got to look them up and make sure. But, check out the rest of the review. I explain everything inside of there. And again, so the next part's going to be battery life and sound. So let's talk about sound and battery life on this headset. First things first, you get a total of 16 hours, 6 in the headset, 10 inside the case. So it's not the worst battery life that we've ever seen in the headset. Let me just open this up so you can take a look at them again. It's not the worst, it's not the best. 16 hours, I would think the case should have a minimum of either 24 or at least, what's the word here? 18, so that 6 hours can make it 24 hours of battery life. You shouldn't have to charge your case every day, but again, it's not life or death. This is first world problem. Is that what we call it? I think it's called first world problems. It's nothing that serious. Now, what you see right here, in order to sync these, you take them out of the case. They will sync together. You go to Bluetooth. It'll pop up, I believe the name of the headset, XR90. That's what popped up when I tried it. There was no issue with syncing. You can use the left ear by itself. You can use the right ear by itself. You shouldn't have any issue using either by itself. So those are good things. The bad part, I'm going to try to just make the video super short. The bad part about this headset is the fit. What I will say is that I used it, and because of this little groove right here, it could be a little irritating in your ear. I did have to change my earbud tips to the bigger ones when I personally use it, but I put the originals back on here for review purposes. I needed a bigger earbud tip, not because it didn't fit my ear, but because of the shape of this, right? Some of you guys might experience this if you bought this headset out of just curiosity. The problem is when you put it in your ear, it sounds very, very far away, which can be misleading and make the headset sound terrible as if it doesn't have any bass or sound. But the reality of it is that this actually isn't a bad headset for the price. Now, granted, I'm always going to suggest the JLab AirGo Pops, which are $20 normal, which sound great. In addition, they're on sale for $12.99 at Best Buy. But regardless, we're talking about this headset. If you use a different earbud tip, or if your ear is shaped a certain way and this is deep into your ear, the actual rubber itself, these actually have good bass inside of them. And I didn't have to change the sound profile or equalizer or anything inside of my phone, which is what I use my headset primarily for. It sounded good. Now, what didn't sound good was the call quality. The call quality was mediocre, where, again, let me not say mediocre. It sounds mediocre initially, let me explain myself, when you put the earbud in, because it doesn't truly fit in your ear until you actually twist this earbud in. Like when you put it in your ear, you may think it goes in like this, but you actually have to twist it up. So this is up and down. That's how it fit better in my ear, at least. I can't say for you. It might be a little angled for whoever's using the headset. But for me personally, that's how the headset felt good inside of my ear, where I could hear the entire conversation that I was having. So my initial thing was I thought these things were terrible. But as soon as I adjusted them properly, I could hear the person just fine. They said they could hear me better. The microphone wasn't that bad at all. It was a little low, they said, on their end, but it wasn't any crackling. Of course, I was talking indoors. Outdoors is a different story. Most earbuds can't handle outside conversations with wind blowing. That's more so for the high end and mid-tier spec, but this is more so a low-tier headset, so we're going to stick to that $20 category that we're talking about. I didn't see any app support for this particular headset, nothing like that. It pops right in the case with no issue. Occasionally, you might have to kind of push it in the case properly to see the charging light, and then you'll know it's charging when this pops up. Or if you open this up, you see the red light, it'll let you know that it's charging. So just be aware, these aren't Galaxy Buds Pros, these aren't AirPods where you can just drop them in a case and they automatically work. You don't necessarily have to adjust them properly for the contacts. You do have to do that on occasion for this. And I would say more on occasion, if I took this earbud out 30 times, I might have adjusted 5, which isn't bad. But on the grand scheme of things, it's a little annoying that you might have to actually carefully make sure the earbud's on here to make sure it's charging, just to double check and see the red lights, and then finally close the case back. But again, first world problems. This isn't anything serious, isn't anything really to complain about. I don't have any issues with battery life. Like I said, you can use mono, left ear by itself. You can use right ear by itself. You can pop it back in the charging case. These aren't bad headphones for the price at all. I can honestly say that if it wasn't for the design itself, I would have said this is definitely worth the money because of the fact that it goes. How do I word this? When you use a pair of J Labs are low end headphones, but it's for a target audience that want affordable products. This can fall into that category, right? Now, granted, the J Labs did have better Bluetooth connectivity than these. I tried these on a train. They did disconnect a couple times, like when I was in a high traffic, well, less traffic area with not the reception really wasn't that good, where even my phone dropped reception. The Bluetooth did disconnect. Now, that doesn't happen often, only to certain headsets that I used throughout the years, but it wasn't life or death because it did reconnect literally a second or two later when it got into a better spot for Bluetooth connectivity. They're good. They're not bad. I was actually pleasantly surprised about these. The case alone sold me. When I saw the little shape of the case, I said, oh, they're doing the design. It got me. But when I said, let me actually use it, the blue lights on the outside of the case, it actually looks very, very good. You open it up, you have your lights showing what's charged or what's in sync mode. The only reason it's blinking is because remember, you can sync the left one by itself, but if you pull them both out, I'll show you now in real time, it will connect to the right one, and that will be your primary, and this will be your secondary. So again, see, I'll stop blinking. This one is connected to the right one. Now, this is in pair mode, which means once you sync the Bluetooth, it'll work with left or right by itself. That's how that process goes. You don't have to hold any buttons. Again, this is touch controls. So, it does give you, these are good. Put it this way, I don't want to make this video just drag on. It's already going on 6 minutes for this section alone. I like these. So lastly, we're just going to do the verdict and call it a day. So long story short, these are good headphones. They are actually good headphones for the price. What I'm talking to you guys on right now are the JBLs, I think the TWS300. Now, when you look at the size of these, you look at the size of these, the only reason I find the JBLs more comfortable is primarily because you are able to change the rubber tip. In addition to that, it's a flat surface. As you can see, this is completely flat. Now, the JBLs, after about an hour, cause a little irritation of using them because they are heavy headphones. On the other hand, if you get the right earbud tip for these, you can completely avoid this little part that I'm talking about, the earbud. The rubber piece will be a little bit bigger, so you won't really feel this directly in your ear. And remember, you're turning them upward. Most people just try to fit them in as is sideways, and that's really where the discomfort came from my ear. Once I properly learned how to put them in, I had to look at the picture. I'm looking at the video of these. I'm like, let me try to find a review on these things, and I couldn't really find them. And then when I looked at the picture, I said, this person, the way they're wearing the headset, I'm the one that's wearing it wrong. So before I go on this video and say, oh, these are trash. No. They're fine. They work very well. I will say that because you can get by the JLab Ergo Pops, which are a better headset with much better battery life than these, I will get those, especially since they're on sale for $12.99. But if you're not a shopper, you're not concerned about that, you're just trying to get somebody something to get them through the day, to hook up to their tablet, a kid, an adult, someone older that's not too big on bass and certain things, it's not bad. I was pleasantly surprised. I never heard of Tech Rebellion up until, you can't really see it on my camera, but it says Tech Rebellion. I never heard of this company, and I am going to look into more headphones to see what they make. I doubt they'll ever jump up to the JBL status or even the Soundcore Anchor status, because some of these headphone companies, they're taking off over the last couple of years. But I will say I found this in Burlington Coat Factory. That's not bad. I actually found this in either Ross or Burlington too. I forget which one. But $20. The regular price, I think, is $27 to $30. That's not bad for a headset at all. Remember, J Labs, they're a company that's making budget headphones now. And it wasn't always like that in the past. Like if they didn't exist, I would suggest this headset for someone that uses it. Now, granted, I don't know the longevity or the warranty on this particular product, but I will say is always hold on to your receipts, especially if you go to Micro Center, Walmart, different places, Best Buy. They tend to allow you to return things if you truly don't like it. But if you see these in Burlington, I say give it a shot. If you want to give it to someone as a gift, awesome. The packaging is nice and professional. It looks like you actually spent money on something, but you didn't. You didn't spend that much. It gives the illusion of having an extremely nice gift. But once they pop it in their ear and they hear the sound and they change the rubber tips or the earbuds, you're good to go. I don't think anybody will have an issue with this. If anything, this is, to me, this is the entry to what our wireless earbuds should be. Like this is the bare minimum of what a wireless headset should be. And then once you get more accustomed and want better sound or better battery life or just better call quality, different things, that's when you start moving up in the market. So anyway, that is the video. Like, subscribe, and I hope you guys make an informed decision. The holidays is right around the corner, and I'll see you in the next one.